What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode. Welcome to a new video. Today's topic is going to be about if it fits your macros. Now, this is my personal favorite method of dieting. And with that being said, a lot of people are going to disagree with some of the things I'm going to say. So if you're a keyboard warrior, stay in your lane. You have your methods. I have my methods. And in my opinion, and some of my lengthy years of working with people, if it fits your macros is the most successful form of dieting. So if you're looking for some flexibility in your diet to use if it fits your macros, this is a video for you. So if it fits your macros is basically a method of dieting that consists of utilizing any food at your disposal, but in certain portions and serving sizes to hit specific macronutrient goals per meal. So I like to do per meal, not necessarily for the whole day, because per meal you tend to try to keep it a little bit cleaner. But for example, if it fits your macros is a great tool for those who are traveling, who are maybe in meetings all day at work. If work caters in lunch, or they're at a birthday party, whatever, you can enjoy foods that are typically not diet foods and you can eat those, but you just need to be conscious of how much you're eating and what the macros are, or get as close as you possibly can to what that food is and what the protein, carbs, and fats are in that food. So for example, let's say it's lunchtime, right? And I'm somewhere, they're having a lunch party, and they bring in pizza, they bring in sandwiches, and they bring in some soft drinks. So I'm sitting there, I have, for example's sake, I have chicken and rice right here. Boring chicken and rice. Or I can have sandwiches and pizza and a soft drink. So weighing those two options, which one would you pick? All right, I would rather have the fun food rather than the chicken and rice, but with that being said, what you would basically do is you would take, look at what you want to eat, look at what your macros are for your lunch. So let's say that my chicken and rice meal is 60 grams of protein, 50 grams of protein, and 100 grams of carbs. So then what I would do is I would go over here, look at the sandwiches, okay? Look at how much meat is on the sandwiches, all right? Let's say that they're like turkey and roast beef sandwiches. So per sandwich, I look at the label on where the sandwiches came in, or maybe they're from Subway. So I get on MyFitnessPal and I look up Subway sandwiches and I kind of look at the sandwich that is there and add it, basically look it up on the menu. And on MyFitnessPal, it's going to bring up the macros for that specific sandwich. So let's say that there's 6 inches, right? Each sandwich is 6 inches. So per sandwich, there's 20 grams of protein. So that means I need about 2.5 sandwiches to meet my protein goal. Well, there's also bread, and let's say each sandwich is 20 grams of carbs. So if I eat 3 sandwiches, I'm at 60 grams of protein. So I'm a little bit over on protein, but that's okay because it's protein. And if I eat 6 sandwiches, I'm at 60 grams of carbs. So I still have 40 grams left over. Well, I look over, one slice of pizza is 30 grams of carbs. Now, right there, I am at 90 grams of carbs, and one slice of pizza is maybe 10 grams of protein, because believe it or not, guys, there is actually a lot of protein in pizza, but it's from dairy and cheese, which isn't the best source, but anyways, you're getting the idea here. So we've got sandwiches. 3 sandwiches put me at 60 grams of protein, so I'm a little bit over on the protein. The pizza has 30 grams of carbs, so now I'm almost to my carbohydrate goal, but I'm actually a little bit over on protein. So technically I'm at 70 protein, and I'm at 80 grams of carbs. No, sorry, 246. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm at 70 grams of protein and 70 grams of carbs. So I'm a little bit under the 50 protein, or excuse me, I'm over on protein and I'm under on carbs. But with those numbers, okay, because I did have some fats in there, there's more fats in those sandwiches and that slice of pizza than there would be in chicken and rice. So therefore, I'm probably just going to call it quits right there. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to have those 3 sandwiches, that slice of pizza, and I'm over on protein, but I'm under on carbs, and I'm probably a little bit over on fats. So I'm kind of just switching some things around, but I'm getting as close as I possibly can. Now, because I went a little bit over on protein and a little bit over on fats that meal, what I'm going to do for dinner, or maybe my mid-afternoon meal, is I'm either going to eat what I packed, and I'm going to take some carbs out of that meal, or take some protein out of that meal, or take some fats out of that meal. Let's say I was supposed to have half an avocado with some chicken and rice later in the afternoon. I'm probably not going to have that half of an avocado, mainly because those are fats that I already got during lunch. So what you're doing when you're following If It Fits Your Macros is you have a budget every day. You have a budget that you have to follow, and the budget is protein, carbs, and fats, and you can't go over that budget. You can go over temporarily during the meal, but you need to make sure that you break even by the end of the day. And so that's kind of a good analogy I like to use. We all, everyone has budgets during the month. Typically, most people do, and you might be over budget or under budget by halfway through the month, but you adjust your spending habits and you break even by the end of the month, or you come out ahead. Now, on with macros, you don't want to come out ahead. You don't want to come out and be like, oh, great, I'm 500 calories less today, or I had 100 grams of protein less than what I was supposed to. That's good. I was less calories. No, you want to stick to the plan, because if you undereat, your metabolism will downregulate to match your lower food intake, and all your progress will stop altogether. So you have to eat your food. So with dieting, you want to break even with that macro budget, right? So just put that aside, take a little mental note on that, because you want to make sure that you eat your food. You just don't want to go over. So that's a good example. The sandwiches, the slice of pizza, maybe we could adjust it around a little bit. Maybe we only had two sandwiches and 2 pieces of pizza. Or maybe we did, but that'd be more fats. Maybe we did a little bit of Coke over here, and then we did some sandwiches, and then we did half a piece of pizza. You can adjust things around if you just follow MyFitnessPal and trust those numbers. So if I go out to eat and I want chips and salsa, well, how many chips, is it half a basket of chips that I can afford to have in my macros, or is it a whole basket? What can I do? So that's those are some tips, and I would suggest every single one of you guys give this a try. You're gonna have to learn to be very numbers oriented. Don't just wing it and try to go. If you try to just wing it, you're just not going to hit your macros. And this style of dieting can be really, really good, because it gives you kind of a little bit of variety. It can be really, really bad, because some people, they can't control themselves. They're supposed to have half a basket. They get carried away. They're talking. They're not thinking about it. Before you know it, they've had 2 baskets of chips, and they've completely blown their macros for the day. So one meal can do it. So you got to be very careful with this. And then as far as like your micronutrients go, that's very important. People are going to argue, and they're going to say, well, you got to cut wheat out of your diet. You shouldn't have soy, whatever. Guys, knock it off. Like, look, here's the way I think about it. You have these people out there, these fitness gurus, right, that want to tell you, cut wheat out, don't eat breads, don't eat soy. Nonsense. Guys, if you're not seeing results, if you're not truly like losing weight and seeing drastic results in your body, because you're so focused on the little tiny details, forget those details. If you don't have celiacs, eat gluten. Don't deprive yourself of things. If you're not intolerant to dairy products, don't cut dairy out of your diet. If you can digest dairy and you're just fine, don't cut it out. But try different things. The main focus is to get results in the mirror, get results on the scale. By cutting breads out and cutting dairy out and cutting gluten out, if you don't have to do that, why would you do that? That makes 0 sense. And I get it that there's some toxicity involved and inflammation involved, but at the end of the day, the leaner that you get, the more consistent you are with your diet, all of those things will fade anyways. I've helped hundreds and hundreds of people work on losing weight over the last 10, 12 years now. And I have never followed some sort of heavy micronutrient-based diet, because what the problem is with a lot of those is that they forget about the macros and they only focus on the micros. And with the micros, you don't get the macro changes in the mirror that you should. So guys, remember, think big picture, think simplicity. There's no reason to get caught up in all the little details, okay? Because if you're focusing on those and you're not seeing weight loss on the scale and changes in the mirror, you got to change something, and you got to focus on the big picture. So anyways, guys, if it fits your macros, great method. I'd suggest that you try it. We'll see you next week.